Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael, and tonight we're diving into the enigmatic world of Steve Jobs, the visionary who gave us the iPhone, redefined technology, and left an indelible mark on humanity. But in 2025, nearly 14 years after his passing, Jobs' legacy is under siege in ways that would make even this relentless innovator pause. A bombshell lawsuit has emerged, accusing Apple of exploiting Jobs' unpublished writings. Private journals unearthed from his personal archives. Allegations of betrayal swirl around his inner circle, with his widow, Laurene Powell Jobs, at the heart of a legal firestorm. Add to that whispers of a hidden manuscript that could rewrite Apple's history, and questions about Jobs' daughter Lisa, whose own story intersects painfully with her father's. I can feel the weight of this unfolding drama, the clash of genius and grief, and I know you do too. Join me as we unravel a saga of innovation, family secrets, and corporate intrigue that's shaking Silicon Valley to its core. It's August 2025, and the tech world is reeling from these revelations. A court filing in California alleges that Apple misused Jobs' private notes for AI development, sparking ethical debates. Meanwhile, a cryptic post on X hints at a manuscript Jobs left behind, titled, "The Next Revolution." Is it real? And what does it mean for his family and his company? Let's step into this labyrinth together. To understand the storm engulfing Steve Jobs' legacy, we need to journey back to his beginnings, a story of brilliance, rebellion, and relentless ambition that could fill a library. Born on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco, Stephen Paul Jobs was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs, a working-class couple who nurtured his curiosity. As a kid in Cupertino, he tinkered with electronics in his father's garage, a foreshadowing of the empire to come. I can picture young Steve, wiry and intense, soldering circuits late into the night, dreaming of machines that could change the world. Jobs' rise began in 1976 when, at 21, he co-founded Apple with Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne in that same garage. The Apple I, a clunky circuit board, was their first step. The Apple II in 1977 made them millionaires. "We were kids with a vision," Wozniak once told me in an interview, his voice tinged with nostalgia. But Jobs' genius wasn't just technical, it was his ability to see the future. The Macintosh in 1984, with its graphical interface, redefined computing. Yet, his perfectionism led to clashes, and in 1985, he was ousted from Apple, a betrayal that stung deeply. Undeterred, Jobs founded Next, pouring his soul into sleek workstations. He also bought Pixar for $5 million, turning it into a powerhouse with Toy Story in 1995. I remember watching it, marveling at how Jobs' vision extended beyond silicon to storytelling. In 1997, Apple, floundering, brought him back. What followed was a renaissance: the iMac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. By 2011, Apple was the world's most valuable company, worth over $350 billion. Jobs, battling pancreatic cancer, stepped down as CEO in August 2011. He died on October 5, 2011, at 56, leaving a legacy that seemed untouchable. But his personal life was messy. His daughter Lisa Brennan Jobs, born in 1978 to Chris and Brennan, faced his initial denial of paternity, a wound detailed in her 2018 memoir Small Fry. "He wasn't always there," Lisa wrote, her words raw. Jobs later reconciled, but tensions lingered. With Laurene Powell Jobs, married in 1991, he had 3 children, Reed, Aaron, and Eve, but his drive often left family second. Laureen, a philanthropist, built the Emerson Collective, championing education and immigration reform, carrying Jobs' vision forward. Posthumously, Jobs' myth grew. The 2015 film Steve Jobs, based on Walter Isaacson's biography, portrayed his brilliance and flaws. But in 2025, new questions arise. Laureen's stewardship of his estate, including unpublished journals, has sparked controversy. These writings, meant for family, reportedly contain ideas for future tech, ideas Apple may have used without permission, and whispers of the next revolution, a manuscript Jobs allegedly penned in his final months, add intrigue. Was it a blueprint for AI? A personal confession? The stakes are astronomical. Let's fast forward to July 2025. I'm in my office when the news breaks. A lawsuit filed in San Francisco Superior Court by a group called the Jobs Legacy Trust, led by a distant cousin, accuses Apple of misusing Steve Jobs' private journals for its Apple Intelligence AI platform, launched in 2024. The claim? These journals, found in Jobs' Palo Alto home after his death, were meant for his children, not corporate exploitation. This is a violation of Steve's soul, the plaintiff's attorney declares in a press conference. My heart races. This isn't just legal, it's personal. The lawsuit names Laureen Powell Jobs and Apple CEO Tim Cook, alleging they authorized the use of Jobs' writings without consulting his heirs. The journals, described as handwritten notes from 2004 to 2011, reportedly contain sketches for devices, software concepts, and philosophical musings on technology's future. He wrote about AI as the next frontier. A source leaks to The Verge. Apple's defense? All innovations are inspired by Steve's vision, but no proprietary material was used. Meanwhile, X buzzes with a cryptic post from an anonymous account. Jobs' last manuscript, The Next Revolution, is real. It's with Laureen, and it's explosive. The post, viewed 12 million times, sparks speculation. Is it a hoax? A deep-fake rumor? Or does it hold secrets that could upend Apple's narrative? Lisa Brennan Jobs enters the fray, speaking at a literary event. My father's legacy is more than products, she says, voice trembling. It's about his ideas, his humanity. Sources say she's privately furious, feeling sidelined by Laureen's control of the estate. Lisa wants the journals public, an insider tells me. She believes they show Dad's heart. Public reaction is fierce. On X, #JusticeForSteve trends alongside #AppleEthics. They're profiting off his ghost, one user fumes. Another defends. Jobs would have wanted Apple to innovate. I feel the divide, admiration for Jobs clashing with distrust of corporate motives. Then, a twist. A former Apple engineer, anonymously interviewed by Bloomberg, claims Jobs' journals inspired Siri's evolution into Apple Intelligence. We saw his notes, they say. They were like scripture. Apple denies, but the damage is done. The lawsuit seeks $2 billion and an injunction on AI development. Silicon Valley holds its breath. As August 2025 unfolds, this story becomes a global obsession. I'm on air nightly, piecing together fragments for our viewers. Court documents reveal more. Jobs' journals, over 400 pages, include a 2010 entry envisioning a thinking machine that learns like a human. Was this the seed for Apple Intelligence? Laureen's team insists the journals remain private, citing Jobs' wishes. He was a private man, she tells the New York Times, her tone resolute yet weary. I interview tech ethicist Dr. Maya Patel. Michael, she says, leaning forward, using someone's personal writings posthumously raises huge ethical questions. Did Jobs consent? Did his family? I nod, my mind racing. But Apple claims inspiration, not theft. I counter. She shakes her head. Inspiration doesn't justify violation. The manuscript rumor grows. A leaked excerpt, posted on X, describes the next revolution as Jobs' vision for a post-iPhone era AI-driven ecosystems, not just devices. Imagine a world where your tech knows you better than you know yourself. It reads. Experts debate its authenticity, but it fuels conspiracy theories. Loreen's hiding it to protect Apple's stock. One X-user claims, garnering 500,000 likes. Lisa's role intensifies. She publishes an op-ed in the Washington Post. My father's legacy belongs to the world, not a boardroom. Sources say she's consulting lawyers, possibly joining the lawsuit. She feels erased. A friend confides. Loreen, meanwhile, hosts a gala for Emerson Collective, deflecting questions but looking strained. We honor Steve every day, she says, eyes glistening. Apple stock dips 3%, a $100 billion hit. Tim Cook addresses shareholders. Steve's spirit drives us, but we respect his privacy. Skeptics scoff. A viral deepfake video surfaces, showing Jobs criticizing Apple's AI push. This isn't what I wanted, the fake Jobs says. I warn on air. Deepfakes muddy the truth. We stick to facts. Family tensions spill over. Reed Jobs, Steve's son, posts on Instagram. Dad's ideas were meant to inspire, not divide. Is it a jab at Lisa? Fans dissect every word. I feel the emotional toll. This isn't just about tech. It's about a family grappling with a giant's shadow. Then, a bombshell. The Wall Street Journal reports a 2011 email from Jobs to Cook, found in Discovery, saying, "My notes are for my kids, not the company." If authentic, it's damning. I'm on air, voice steady but heart pounding. This could change everything. September 2025 arrives, and the Jobs saga reaches a fever pitch. I'm in San Francisco, outside the courthouse, where crowds gather, tech enthusiasts, activists, and curious onlookers. The lawsuit's first hearing is set, and Laurene Powell Jobs is subpoenaed to testify. This is unprecedented. I tell our viewers, the wind whipping my mic. A tech titan's legacy on trial. Inside, Laurene is composed but emotional. Steve trusted me to protect his vision, she testifies, voice breaking. These journals were personal. The plaintiff's attorney presses. Did you authorize their use? She hesitates. I allowed inspiration, not exploitation. Gasps ripple through the room. Lisa attends, sitting apart, her expression unreadable. Post-hearing. She speaks to reporters. I want Dad's truth out there. Sources say she submitted her own evidence. A letter from Jobs apologizing for past distance. Lisa, you're my spark. It reads. I choke up reading it on air. The manuscript surfaces, at least, a partial version. Published by an obscure blog, it's 50 pages of Jobs' musings on AI ethics, warning against soulless tech. Experts verify its handwriting. Apple calls it out of context, but the damage is done. Hashtag free the manuscript trends globally. A former Apple executive, anonymously on 60 Minutes, claims Jobs opposed aggressive AI. He feared losing human connection. Cook counters in a keynote. Steve's vision evolves with us. Protesters outside Apple's Cupertino HQ demand transparency, holding signs. Honor Steve's wishes. The emotional peak comes at a memorial event for Jobs' 70th birthday, if he'd lived. Laureen and Lisa share a stage, an uneasy truce. We're family, Laureen says, gripping Lisa's hand. Lisa nods, tears falling. Dad would want us to heal. The crowd roars. But the legal battle rages. The court orders Apple to halt certain AI projects pending review. Stock plummets another 5%. I report. This isn't just about money, it's about trust, legacy, and truth. As October 2025 dawns, the storm begins to settle, offering a bittersweet resolution. Back in the studio, I reflect. We've witnessed the Titan's legacy tested, by family, by corporate giants, by time itself. The lawsuit settles out of court. Apple agrees to fund a Jobs Foundation for Tech Ethics, donating $500 million. Laureen releases portions of the journals, edited for privacy, to Stanford's archives. For Steve's fans, she says, voice soft. Lisa endorses, this is what he'd want. The Next Revolution is published in full, a slim volume of Jobs' thoughts. It's a bestseller, sparking debates on AI's future. Reed launches a startup inspired by it, focusing on ethical tech. Dad's still teaching me, he posts. Apple rebounds, with Cook announcing a Steve Jobs Innovation Lab to honor his vision transparently. Laureen and Lisa appear together at its opening, a symbol of reconciliation. We're stronger together, Lisa says, echoing her father's spirit. Off air, I sit back, exhausted but moved. Jobs' story, his genius, flaws, and family, reminds us that legacies are human, not just corporate. This is why we tell these stories, I say to the camera, voice steady. To understand, to question, to heal.